Over the last decade, a single logic has taken over the NBA: spread the floor and shoot as many three-pointers as possible. Between the constant tracking cameras and the rise of the front office quant, there is a widespread assumption that the math of basketball is effectively solved. But the tracking data suggests the analytics revolution stopped halfway, leaving behind a territory of untapped value we call the optimization gap. By focusing on where players stand rather than how they are targeted, the smartest teams in the league are ignoring a scoring method that outperforms the three-pointer. Consider the post-up. Over the last decade, teams abandoned back-to-the-basket plays, and total volume collapsed by 66%. This chart compares the efficiency of every half-court action type. Despite the drop in usage, the data shows post-ups have become the single most efficient way to score in the half-court. Then, of course, there is the isolation play. Hunting a defensive switch to let a star attack one-on-one became the league's standard weapon during the prime of James Harden. But unless you have an all-time elite scorer, the math on isolation is often worse than a random set play. The Dallas Mavericks, for example, scored a dismal 0.54 points per possession on isos during the 2024 finals. This discrepancy between what teams believe works and what the tracking data actually shows provides a blueprint for a completely different kind of offense. The first step in this blueprint is forcing the defense into a disadvantageous switch. Usually, an offense wants a switch to get a slow defender onto a fast guard, but they almost always use that advantage to stop moving and play one-on-one. Defenses use scram switching, where two defenders swap assignments off-ball to hide their weakest link before the attack starts. By the time the handler moves, the advantage is gone. Attacking a mismatch one-on-one is often less efficient than never forcing the switch. If an offense generates a switch and then settles for an isolation play, they haven't found an exploit. They've walked into a trap. To beat a scram switch, the offense has to act before the defense can reorganize. The most efficient triggers are an immediate lob pass or a deep post-up against a severe size mismatch, executed the moment the switch occurs. While general post-ups are down, a very specific type is rising. This graph shows the volume of a center backing down a guard has multiplied by 11 since 2013. This exploit relies on the physical profiles of versatile big men like Victor Wembanyama, who can punish a smaller defender the second they switch. A size mismatch only produces a mathematical advantage if the offense cashes it in immediately. Speed of decision is more valuable than isolation skill. The final part of the blueprint involves targeting the single most efficient shot in the sport. Most analysts will tell you the corner three-pointer is the gold standard, worth about 1.20 expected points. But look at the expected point value of a rim attack when you factor in the probability of a shooting foul. That single action yields 1.52 expected points, which is significantly more efficient than any three-pointer. Coach Don Nelson understood this math instinctively. He used to pay his players $100 in cash every time they drew a foul on an opponent like Shaquille O'Neal. This type of deliberate foul hunting isn't just about getting easy points at the line. It's a way to systematically remove the opponent's best defenders from the game. Targeting and attempting to foul out the opponent's primary rim protector in the first quarter transforms a physical battle into a predictable scoring engine. When you put these pieces together, you get a relentless offense organized around immediate lobs, extreme size mismatches, and targeted foul hunting. This strategy doesn't look like the free-flowing perimeter game we've seen for a decade. It's a grueling, body blow style of basketball. Teams that continue to rely only on the first wave of the analytics revolution are leaving a significant amount of championship value on the table. If this defender-hunting offense represents the next evolution of the sport, which current roster is best positioned to execute it? The future of basketball isn't about shooting from further away. It's about identifying and breaking the weakest link on the floor on every single possession.